Welcome to Cheddar Home, the intersection of smart homes and smart living. Brought to you by Resideo, Smart Home Simplified. I'm Baker Machado.
And I'm B. Copeland. Now this show is a new adventure for Cheddar as we dive into everything to do with millennial living.
Yeah, so you might be asking yourself, what does that even mean? Well, over the next few months, we're actually going to show you.
That's right. We're meeting with experts from every corner of the home industry, from Real Estate 101 to tiny home tours, from smart tech to do-it-yourself solutions, and finally, from learning how to live comfortably in a small space to dreaming about buying a bigger one.
Yeah, we're also going to get our hands dirty with some home design projects of our very own in this studio.
That's right.
All right, so come for the host, but actually stay for the show, guys, because we promise you're going to learn a ton, and you might even pick up some inspiration for your own living situation, whether that's in a shared apartment or your first family home. So stick around. When I was a kid, I was terrified of the basement for obvious reasons. But did you know there's a lot of really important stuff down here? So we're joined by Ryan from Resideo over at a normal, regular house that somebody might get as a starter home. And he's gonna show us the ins and outs of all the very important stuff that's down here. So Ryan, where exactly are we in the house and why is this place so important?
Good question, Baker. So we are in that basement room, that dark, dusty, dank room that nobody likes to go in.
Everybody avoids all the time.
I call it the mechanical room. Some people call it the utility room or the laundry room. This is really the heart of the home in terms of where all the mechanical equipment is housed. And this room is typically overlooked as first-time home buyers. Me, myself, my wife and I just bought a house about 2 months ago. Wife was looking at the countertops, the paint on the walls.
And you're like, where's the boiler room?
I know, and I went right down to the boiler room. Because this is really the heart of the home, like I said. And just like you and I, a healthy heart is critical for a healthy home. So all the mechanical equipment from air handlers to furnaces to this house actually has a boiler, hot water heaters are housed in this area right here of the house.
So on that note, explain a little bit about the differences of some of the equipment that we see in here.
Yeah, so Baker, this house actually has 2 heating systems. The first is an air handler, which actually controls the heating and cooling in the upstairs. And the second is actually a boiler, which provides heat through hydronic heating in the basement. So they do similar things by getting hot air, hot water to warm the rest of the house. They just do it through different modes or mechanisms.
And I'm sure a question that a lot of people wonder about, what's the difference between a boiler and a hot water heater?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. Typically, most houses don't have all 3 of these equipments, but some do have a boiler, some have a hot water heater. When you think of a boiler and you see this system, what I want you to think of is heating and cooling, okay? Really more so heating, where this is gonna heat up hot water and distribute it through pipes and radiators throughout the house. This water, you can't drink. You don't want to be drinking this, okay?
Right.
Hot water heater over here, this is where your drinking water is stored.
Right, this is the shower water.
Yep, exactly. So when you're taking a hot shower and it's, negative 20 degrees out and you want to get warm.
It's this.
It's this piece of equipment right here.
Now, I've heard of a bunch of different kinds of water heaters are out there on the market. What are the different ones that people can get?
So primarily there are tank and tankless water heaters. So let's start with tankless.
Okay.
Tankless water heaters are kind of on-demand heating where you're not actually storing water for it to be used, storing hot water, I should say. And a tank, which is what this is a tank unit. This is a reservoir or a tank of water that is continuously being heated to make sure that whenever someone turns on a faucet and needs hot water, that it's being pulled from this tank right here.
On a tankless heater, where's the water coming from? Where is it storing it?
Same thing, inlet of the house. It's just generating, similar to like an instant coffee maker or something like that, it's generating hot water on demand.
Ryan, what's the general maintenance for a lot of stuff in here?
So let's talk about this unit over here first.
Okay.
So whether you have a furnace or an air handler or an air exchanger, the number one thing if you have one of these units is actually changing the filter, and that's down here.
Okay.
Changing the filter on these units is really like changing the oil on your car. All you have to do that is you just usually pop off the cabinet here, and you can pull out this filter.
And how often should you be changing your filter?
It depends upon the filter. For this unit right here, which is a 4-inch filter, this can go from 6 to 12 months.
Okay.
If you have a smaller 1-inch filter, typically on average, it's about 3 months or so, but it really is dependent upon the house.
Okay.
Now moving from the air handler unit here, let's talk about the boiler.
Okay.
To maintain this properly, what you really want to do is you want to have some sort of service or contract agreement with your local contractor. They'll come in and do a checkup on this, just like going to the dentist, to make sure, once or twice a year that everything's working fine.
Okay. And then the hot water heater.
Hot water heater, really good general maintenance on this guy right here. Is you want to be draining this on an annual basis. That gets rid of all the sediment and build up hard water deposits and things like that that have built up in this over time.
Wow. So Brian, I also see some additional stuff back here. What's this stuff and what do they do?
All right, let's go back here and take a look at it. So these two pieces of equipment are really part of a humidification control solution, okay?
Okay.
This guy on the top here is a whole house humidifier. So in the winter, when it's really cold and dry outside and in the house, you're gonna be wanting to run this thing to provide humidification to the house.
Interesting.
This guy down here is actually kind of the opposite of
It's the dehumidifier.
It's a dehumidifier. So in the summer, down in the basement, when it
Right.
gets kind of musty and dank,
Uh-huh.
you want to be running this to remove that moisture from the air and remove some of the smells.
And what's this guy? This is interesting.
Yeah, this is actually a UV light. It's a UVC germicidal light. It's the same thing that really dentists use, hospitals use to clean surfaces through UV light radiation. And what this does is it actually zaps kind of all of the bacteria, mold, the bugs that are kind of in the air to make sure it's providing clean air throughout the house.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Ryan, how do you guys over at Resideo kind of work with a lot of first-time home buyers to kind of customize and retrofit a lot of this stuff for a lot of older homes?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Baker. We at Resideo provide comfort solutions to the homeowner in a modular, piecewise way. So if you don't have the most up-to-date system, you can at least then slowly over time customize it to get to your needs. And for example, this house actually here has a leak detector to ensure if there's any leaks either in this mechanical room, through the water heater, that the homeowner's notified. So by providing products, we're trying to empower the homeowner to take control of their house, but then also provide them the comfort solutions that they need.
Which is great because you can kind of start small and over time start to get more pieces because this stuff adds up after a while. It gets kind of expensive.
Absolutely, yeah. And just maintaining it in general is hard enough. But yeah, to be able to piecewise it and customize it to your needs, your desires, because every home's different, everyone is different, they may want different things. We provide that through kind of our full product HVAC offering.
Ryan, thanks for showing us all the important stuff down here. We'll have a lot more Cheddar at Home right after this.
Welcome to Cheddar at Home, brought to you by Honeywell Home from Resideo, the leading provider of comfort and security solutions for the home.
We're joined by Jay from Resideo. Jay, thanks so much for joining us outside of our tiny home here in Woodstock, New York. You've worked in this industry for a very long time. Give our viewers some context into your experience in the security industry.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me over here. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with you, Baker. I've been in the technology space for a while, but I'm going to tell you a little story. About 10 years ago, my wife and I moved into what was our first home. And like most homeowners, we went location, TV, internet, phone, check, oil, check, electric, check. And we didn't even think about home security. And when we started to think about it, we were like, what do we do, right? Someone knocked on our door from a security company, noticed that we already had a system in the house, connected us to a monitoring station, and did it within 2 hours.
Wow.
We went from not even knowing where to start for home security to feeling like we had a real consultant when it came to security for our home,
Sure.
right? Fast forward a couple of years later, lucky enough to have the opportunity to join a great team at Resideo, smack in the middle of designing products that help people feel safe. And we take that very, very seriously. We're trying to deliver on this promise of smart home simplified, and we're just getting started.
Wow, your life has really come full circle when it comes to this space. So what's really the difference for our viewers from home security and just awareness?
That is such a great question. The way I think about it is awareness is about letting you know what's happening in and around your house. So you're always connected to not only the things and the events that are happening in your house, but also the people that are in your house, right? So that's step number one. And then you tie that to having the peace of mind and reassurance that, hey, you know, someone's watching over your house and making sure that if something bad were to happen, you have either dispatch from first responders or perhaps an ambulance if you have a medical condition, or maybe the fireman, God forbid there's a fire or there's carbon monoxide in your house, right? To me, it's a continuum of going from awareness to fully monitored security.
No doubt everybody wants to feel safe and secure when they're in their home. So what are some key points that people should be aware of when it comes to, you know, keeping their house secure?
Step number one for most people is just realizing that you can never take the safety of your loved ones for granted. For some people, that may be having a camera so they can look and see what's happening outside their house. The way I think about it is it's great that we're able to detect something bad happening, but wouldn't it be even greater if we can deter it from happening in the first place, right? If someone's going down the block and they have the bad intentions, how do you make sure that they don't pick your house?
Right.
So we make a couple of products in this space that, you know, works really great regardless of whether you're in the DIY space or if you're getting monitored security. One of those is the outdoor motion viewer. And what it does is it reliably detects when there's a person in front of your house, and it takes a little video clip so you see what's happening. take that one step further, it makes it sound like as if your house is occupied. So we make, we can play sounds like as if a dog's barking, or there's a party happening in your house, or a vacuum cleaner's running. So when someone walks up to the front door, they feel like there's some activity in the house and they turn away. Right?
Reminds me of that scene on Home Alone where the burglars are trying to come to the house and Kevin's having the party in the house already.
I love all 3 movies over there. Oh my God.
What about the mistakes? People no doubt probably making mistakes when it comes to home security. What are they doing?
The first thing is thinking you don't need it.
Right.
Because normally when you're buying a house, the cliche is location, location, location. You try to pick good neighborhoods. But more importantly, it's having the right products and the support of a company like Resideo that's been there for 130 years, delivering on the promise of security and reassurance and peace of mind.
We also have the Total Connect outdoor camera on our house, which is a really cool feature. But explain to our viewers a little bit about what that actually is.
When you have a camera out on the outside of your house, it has to be weather resistant, right? So the Total Connect outdoor camera has a metal enclosure that's sealed really tightly, and it's got IP65 rating on it. That means that come rain, snow, or really hot weather, that camera is always going to work.
Good,
right?
okay.
It's got an external antenna to make sure that it's always connected to your security system.
How can those cameras actually alert us to suspicious activity?
If the hardware is the engine, then software for us is the fuel that drives that engine, right? So we have a remarkable software team, and we have a couple of apps in the App Store. Those apps are the #1 rated apps for connected home and security. So let's say you have the camera and there's a ceiling fan that's in the field of view. You don't want to get alerted every time that ceiling fan moves.
No, yeah.
So you can draw a box around the ceiling fan and ask the app to ignore movement in that particular zone. So you only get alerted when important things happen.
Okay, what about the most common security breaches? What are the ones we're seeing the most frequently?
Surprisingly, a lot of people just knock on the front door and they see if someone's home or not. If no one answers the door, they try to open the door. That's the first cue. They also look for homes where, the lights haven't come on for a long time, etc. They try to identify these homes where they feel like there's no security system there. So I would say the best way to deter someone from breaking in, the outdoor camera is a really good deterrent, right? Having things like the outdoor motion viewer that's coupled with our smart home security system. And if you're working with a pro, chances are the pro is giving you a yard sign that says, hey, this house is monitored and protected.
Are the outdoor systems different than the indoor systems, or are they the same thing?
They're different in terms of weatherproofing and being weather resistant. It's a rugged device that's meant to go on the outdoors of the house. Because we're a full stack provider, meaning we make the hardware, we design the software, we have our own cloud, we have our own apps. So we make sure that all of our outdoor and indoor systems complement each other and work together.
Where are people overspending when it comes to security? What are the things that they shouldn't be spending so much money on, but they're doing it anyway?
I guess the best way for me to answer that question would be regardless of what your budget is, we have solutions that span the gamut of that, right? So whatever your investment profile looks like, whatever your willingness to pay is, you can start off by having an outdoor camera, and everything scales up, right? So you can keep adding to it.
The evolution of this technology has been incredible, from those giant boxy cameras you would see outside of a gate to something so tiny that we're seeing now. Where do you see the evolution of this going in the next 5 to 10 years?
Miniaturization is something that's just taken the industry by storm, and not just our industry. We see it with our phones as well, right? If you remember the old cell phones and the car phones.
Hello. Yes, absolutely, yeah.
And now we have something that fits in the palm of our hands, right? And we're happy to be the recipients of advances in computing and technology and apply it to smart home and security as well. But when it comes to the outdoors, a camera that's visible and it looks like a camera is going to keep the bad guys away.
Really cool stuff. Jay, thank you so much for talking to us about this. I know it's cold outside, so we'll take our conversation inside. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. And we're from New York. This is not cold.
Yes, this is not cold whatsoever, right? Let's take a photo of us together, kind of celebrate this amazing moment of us together.
This is the new way to take selfies.
Yeah, no joke. Bye! Welcome to Cheddar Home, brought to you by Resideo. Smart home simplified.
A gallery wall is a great way to dress up an empty space and help you find your individual style. Now I know going from a blank slate to a statement wall can seem like a daunting project, especially when it involves poking holes in your walls, but today I'm going to simplify that process so you can get started on your own gallery wall in no time. And I'm coming to the rescue of someone you already know.
Hi guys!
So
welcome to my apartment.
We're in your apartment. We're sitting on your couch in front of your empty
Yes,
wall.
Look how blank this is. So I've been wanting to do something very nice for my fiance for quite some time. We've lived in this apartment for about a year. We've decorated it very well, but as you can see, this is our one sore spot in our apartment. And,
It's making me kind of sad. Like for someone with such a vibrant personality, with so much style.
It's pretty embarrassing. The problem we have is we have so many photos, so many pieces of art that are collecting dust that we just like have in closet space around here that a gallery wall actually would be the greatest thing to cover this up and also get all that stuff out of our closets.
Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's do it.
Let's
I'm
put
gonna
this
break
together.
it down and show you how to do it step by step.
I can't wait. Yes.
So we are gonna start at the very beginning.
Thank God, because I don't even know how to start something like this.
That's why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do it. First, we want to mark the top edge of the couch
Okay.
so that we have that visual while we build the wall. So
Right.
you take that end.
Okay.
I'm gonna go this way, you go that way, all the
Okay.
way to the end of the couch.
And
we
where do you
wanna
want me to
just,
tape this?
I want you to tape it kind of the top of the pillows. Yeah,
About
just
like
the
right
top
there?
of the pillow. Yeah,
Okay.
this just acts as our kind of visual guide. Great, so now that that is in place, we can get this couch out of here. So I love your little collection of art. It's not a little collection, you actually have a lot of art.
It's funny because all of this stuff is either photos of me and my fiance or, you know, just random art pieces that we've collected over the years, but again, just collecting dust in the closet.
Yeah, and it's incredible because it's all gonna actually see the light of day today.
So what's the next step? What do we do?
So we're not gonna just start hacking into your wall with nail and hammer.
You gotta have a plan for this.
Yes, what we're gonna do is kind of mock up each piece of art with this paper. So we're gonna take something like this, for example.
Okay.
And I want you to cut out just a rough kind of
Oh, so it doesn't have to be precise.
Make it pretty close.
Okay.
The closer the better.
Right.
The more exact the better. You got it.
Feels like I'm wrapping Christmas presents right now, but they all just so happen to be photos of me,
Yes.
which I'm fine with. That's usually what I get my family anyways, photos of me.
You try to keep your edges clean
Okay.
and don't cut your rug.
Yes, that's the other thing. I'm waiting for this rug to get a haircut.
And I'm gonna trim off some paper for me so that I can get going too.
Okay.
And we're gonna do that for everything. Your fiance doesn't know about this, right?
He does not know, which makes this even more exciting. So when he comes home later tonight, we're gonna surprise him by this.
What was the last thing you DIY'd?
I bought the paint for the painters to paint our bedroom.
Yes! Wow!
This, by the way, is the antler. It's almost,
Oh my gosh!
It's almost exactly
Which
it.
way? Huh? Huh?
I think it's this way. Yes, see, look how great this is.
So now that we have all of our kind of mock-ups, our templates, let's take the biggest piece, the
Okay.
biggest piece of art, and find a good spot for it on the wall.
So usually where would you like that? Like, is it better in the center? Is it better on the sides?
It's really personal preference. So I tend to be like a little asymmetrical. So I'd say a little off to the side, but like
Okay.
kind of hovering around center.
So right here?
This big piece will act as your anchor for the
Right.
whole wall.
So maybe right here?
Let's do it.
Okay.
And the great thing about this is like
We can pull it
try
off
it.
and-
Another thing to think about is what's the spacing in between your images? If you want to keep that consistent, then
which I
let's
do.
start now. I'm feeling really good about the layout.
I am too. I feel like we've got something that I really like. It looks
Yes.
like the wall will be completely covered, which is great. We have a good mixture of where personal photos are versus artwork.
Yeah, nails are gonna go directly into the paper, and that brings me to our next step. We need nails and hammer.
We need to go get the hammer.
Let's go.
This piece, it doesn't have a wire here for us to kind of nail it in the in the middle. It has these hooks here on top. So what's your best way of putting these up here?
Right, so these are two hooks here, meaning we'd have to do two nails.
Mm-hmm.
Or I have these command strips, which kind of change the game as far
Right.
as hanging things. So I'm gonna recommend these for this piece. I'm gonna stick it on there.
Okay.
Make sure it's on there good.
Okay.
One on either side.
And this thing will hold
This will hold up to 5 pounds.
Oh,
so,
wow.
I mean, how much do you think that weighs?
maybe at least like 2 or 3 pounds. So yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
great.
we're good. But
So
yeah.
something like this.
Double check it. Yep, yep. How do we feel? We got the top aligned. Is that
Yeah.
looking good?
So do I need to level this?
Love it. No, you don't have to level it yet.
Okay.
What we'll do is you can pull it away.
Okay.
I'm just gonna make a little mark with our tape at the top of this piece.
Okay.
So we know where the top is
Oh,
going.
smart idea.
And like top middle, right? We wanted to make it a real science. Here, I'll just show you. I mean, for eyeballing,
That's pretty amazing.
I did pretty good,
you're-
right?
Yeah, you'd think you've done this many times before.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead and pull the paper off.
Okay.
Great. Now let me pull these stickies off.
Okay. This is so exciting.
So now let's just keep the middle of our frame, kind of eyeball it with this tape. This is when I'll get the level out. And you know how a level works,
Yeah,
right?
look right in the middle.
Push it on the wall. You push your side, I'll push mine. We want to make sure that sticky part gets right on the wall. Let's just take a look, see if we like it.
I love it. Wow,
First-
the first piece is up. Wow. And we'll just get rid of this guy.
Yes.
So I think now we're ready to move on to all the other pieces.
Yeah.
Let's put this piece up because
Okay.
this is a really important piece for me.
Okay.
So this is the universe, the moment that my fiance Jared proposed to me.
Oh my
At
gosh.
this time, in these particular coordinates, in Paris, and this is what was happening in the stars. So this one's really cool, and so this one,
I love that. I'm so glad it ended up kind of front and center.
Exactly, strips are off.
Kind of, yeah, center line and bottom of the tape. And you
Do I
like
need to
this
level
width?
this?
Yes, you do.
All right, next piece.
What's cool about the paper is you can just put your object, your frame, right over the paper and nail it in right there.
And then you can just rip the paper out.
Exactly. Nailing this on a little bit of an angle so it really, ow,
Did you get your finger?
just a little bit.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Look how great that looks.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
If I could honestly do something like this, I really think anybody could do a gallery wall
But
like
that's
this.
the truth. People just get a little bit intimidated, but like you just need the supplies,
Right.
you need to take the time, and you just gotta do it.
Well, it's also important to roadmap everything. The fact that we kind of had everything stenciled out to know where everything is, that's why there's no holes in this wall. You know exactly where it should be.
I'm gonna put this guy there. Looking at the handiwork.
This
honestly.
looks so cool. This
Good
looks so
job.
amazing. I can't believe just a few hours ago, this was a blank wall. And this wall had been this way for over a year. Now it looks like a cool, livable space now.
Yeah, I mean, all you gotta do is move in the couch, which, like, you're good to clean up and couch without me. I feel like
Yes,
my work
I
here
feel
is
like I'm
done.
strong enough I can move that entire couch by myself. You can
Amazing.
definitely leave.
Amazing. Okay.
Yes. All right, Jared, I'm ready for you to see my amazing project. Come here.
Wow, this looks great. You did this?
I did this.
I don't believe it.
Yes, I did this all myself. No
I
help
love it.
whatsoever.
It looks awesome. Look, it's Disney World.
And this was us at Cash and Raleigh's wedding. So what do you think?
I love it. It looks beautiful.
I mean, are you impressed that I was able to do this?
I'm shocked, actually. I'm absolutely shocked that you did this.
Well, I'm glad you like it. I feel like our apartment, after living in it for now a year, is almost complete.
Yeah, it looks that way.